It's been nearly 2 years since the last time I updated the Brawl Stars Range Olympics, and I figured out a way to make this the most accurate range test Olympics ever. Now here you'll notice that Jackie's range reaches 3 tiles, but she can't actually hit an enemy from 3 tiles away. Her effective range, or the range at which she will actually deal damage to an enemy brawler like this Frank, is 2 2/3 tiles away, which puts her in dead last for the attack range test. In fact, she ties with Edgar for dead last with the same attack range of 2 2/3 tiles. These two brawlers look like they reach different ranges when you're aiming. This is why I use Frank to actually show how far every brawler's attacks reach in the game. If you'd like to see these super range Olympics, make sure you let me know in the section below. Let's start off with the bottom 10 brawlers, then we'll work our way up to the best brawlers for attack range. But first, I wanted to give a big thank you to World of Demons for sponsoring this video. This all new sword hack and slash action game is now available on iOS with a subscription to Apple Arcade. And because it's on Apple Arcade, you know that this premium game doesn't come with any in-app purchases or microtransactions. It's just 100% awesome game. The way games were meant to be. In World of Demons, you play as one of several playable characters fighting against and with monsters inspired by Japanese yokai lore. After defeating them, you also get to use their abilities in future fights for really awesome combos. Now, there's more than 100 different types of enemies with over 15 hours of beautiful gameplay. And although the game is really easy to pick up, there's actually a lot to master as you harness the power of yokai to pull off huge combos on your enemies. A big reason why I'm such a fan of Apple Arcade is because it allows developers to create games with gameplay and storyline in mind, which is exactly what this game's about. You can click on the link in the description below to Apple Arcade and you'll gain complete access to not just World of Demons, but over 180 premium games just like this. Additionally, you can follow the official World of Demons Twitter and Instagram for a look on this game's gorgeous visual style and really unique battle system. Once again, a big thank you to World of Demons for sponsoring this video. Let's get right back into the attack range Olympics. Both BB and El Primo have a really short attack range of only 3 1/3 tiles. There are currently 47 brawlers in the game and they end up taking 44th place. Next is Rosa with an attack range of 4 tiles. Rosa is one that has a deceptively long range because it reaches further than the animation makes you think it does. She takes 43rd place, and coming in 42nd place is Bull with an attack range reaching 5 tiles. Up next we have Mortis, who has an attack range of 3 1/3 tiles, but with his Coiled Snake star power it increases his range for a total range of 5 1/3 tiles. Mortis takes 41st place, and Daryl rolls into 40th place, reaching just a bit longer at 5 2/3 tiles for his attack range. Up next is Frank and Sandy, who tie with each other for 38th place with an attack range of 6 1/3 tiles. Interestingly enough, Frank's attack isn't actually a perfect wave. It's actually 4 projectiles, and if you don't aim it perfectly, you might not actually hit an enemy at his maximum range. Those were the top 10, and next we're going to show you the middle range brawlers, and I think some of them might actually surprise you. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, I want you to do 2 things. First of all, make sure you subscribe. Second of all, hit that notification bell so you don't miss other awesome Brawl Stars content. Up next, we have Nita, who has a range of 6 2/3 tiles long. This puts her at 37th place for attack range. Both Ems and Poco have an attack range that deals damage at 7 1/3 tiles long. Now, I will say that Ems' animation makes it look bigger than her range actually reaches, but they tie with each other for 31st place. And just like Frank, their attacks are actually made up of several small projectiles, and it's possible to not hit an enemy at maximum range if you're not aiming the attack perfectly. But thanks to his recent buff, Carl's attack range now reaches 8 tiles long, along with Stu and Tara. This ties the 3 of them for 32nd place. Next, we have Gale and Max, who both have an attack range of 8 1/3 tiles long. This actually ties them with our next brawler for 29th place, and that just so happens to be Dynamite. He also has an effective attack range of 8 1/3 tiles. Now, it looks like Dynamite is able to reach 9 tiles away, but because of the way his attack projectiles split up, he's actually only able to deal damage 8 1/3 tiles away from him. This makes him the shortest ranged thrower in the game. Up next is a 2-way tie for 27th place between Amber and Crow. Both of them have attacks that are able to deal damage 8 2/3 tiles away from them. Up next is a 4-way tie for 24th place between Bo, Colette, Pam, and Surge. Once again, it looks like there might be a slight difference in their ranges, but they all have the same effective range of 9 tiles with their attack. Now, in case you're curious, Surge without his second upgrade only reaches 7 tiles with his attack. Next is a 2-way tie for 21st place between Lou and Barley, who are both able to reach 9 tiles with their attacks. Interestingly enough, Barley's effective range is an entire tile longer than Dynamite's, but his aiming reticle makes it look like his range is only slightly shorter. Next is Leon, who has a surprisingly long range of 9 2/3 tiles. He doesn't do a ton of damage at that distance, but he does have the 20th furthest reaching attack in the game. Colt and 8-Bit tie for 19th place and are both able to attack an entire 10 tiles away from them with their regular attack. Now, not all of 8-Bit's projectiles actually reach that full range, and Colt requires his Magnum special star power in order to increase his range to this point. Up next, we actually have a 4-way tie for 14th place. Colonel Ruffs and Sprout are both able to reach an attack range of 10 1/3 tiles away. Sprout uses its Overgrowth star power to increase the radius of its attack, and Colonel Ruffs bounces his shot off of the wall in order to extend the attack range. Without these tricks up their sleeves, Sprout has a maximum range of 10 tiles and Colonel Ruffs has a maximum range of 9 tiles. Now, technically, Colonel Ruffs can reach a maximum range of 11 1/3 tiles long, which you can see right here, but this requires him bouncing between 2 walls with only 1 square between them, which won't happen anywhere other than troll maps for the map maker, so I'm not counting this as his maximum range for the test. Tying with Sprout and Colonel Ruffs for 14th place are B and Byron. They can also reach a maximum range of 10 1/3 tiles, though their attacks are a lot more straightforward and consistent. Next is Belle, Shelly, and Mr. P, who have attack ranges of 10 2/3 tiles. Normally, both Shelly and Mr. P have ranges of 7 1/3 tiles, but if Mr. P hits a target at max range or has his handle with Kairos star power and Shelly uses her Clay Pigeon's gadget, they tie with B and Byron for 11th place. We are down to the top 10 brawlers with the longest ranged attacks in the game. Can you guess who the top 3 are? Now, if you're watching this far into the video, chances are you enjoy the content that I make. And if you enjoy the content that I make, it only makes sense that you'd use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. KAIROS, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. Rico normally has an attack range of 9 2/3 tiles, but for every bounce off a wall, his range increases. With a single bounce, he's able to reach a range of 11 tiles. Now, technically, his range increases up to 5 times for every bounce, so he can reach 17 1/3 tiles in the perfect situation, but I'm not counting this as, once again, it's unlikely to happen anywhere other than on a troll map. Tying with Rico for 9th place is Brock. It looks like Brock's attack only reaches 10 tiles, but there's a tiny little explosion at the tip of his attack, which brings it to 10 1/3 tiles. He can then further increase his range with the help of his rocket fuel gadget because it further increases the explosion radius of his rocket. This allows him to deal damage 11 tiles away. Up next, we have Gene. Now, Gene's normal attack reaches 6 tiles long, but then it spreads out an additional 5 1/3 tiles. This makes Gene's effective range 11 1/3 tiles, which puts him in 8th place. Next is Tick, who can throw one of his mines up to 11 2/3 tiles away from him, which ties him with the next brawler for 6th place. And that next brawler is Nani. Nani's 3-pronged attack converges at 8 2/3 tiles, but then the center projectile reaches a total range of 11 2/3 tiles. Although Nani only places 6th, Nani has the longest consistent attack range in the game because Nani doesn't require any special angles, gadgets, or other requirements to reach her maximum range. Coming in 5th place is Spike. Now, when Spike attacks exactly horizontally or exactly in line with one of his spikes, those spikes can deal damage up to 12 tiles away, which is actually pretty crazy. Piper has a normal attack range of 10 tiles, but if she uses her homemade recipe gadget and an enemy is still in straight line from her shot, her projectile can reach up to 12 1/3 tiles away from Piper. This places Piper in 4th place. And now we are down to the top 3 brawlers. Let's see if you guessed right. In 3rd place is Penny. Now, normally Penny has an attack range of 9 1/3 tiles long, but if she just so happens to hit an enemy at her max range, her attack will continue for another 4 2/3 tiles. Add those together for a total possible range of 14 tiles. And in 2nd place is Jessie. Jessie's normal attack range is the same as Penny's, but the bounce shot after hitting a target extends 6 tiles further for a total range of 15 1/3 tiles. Technically, if I allowed Jessie to bounce her attack twice, she'd be number 1, so don't feel too bad if you guess she'd take the number 1 spot. However, it is so unrealistic that her attack would bounce off of 2 enemies perfectly and then follow another enemy all in a perfectly straight line, so I decided not to count it. In fact, since Jessie won the first Brawl Stars Olympics over 3 years ago, I've never seen that happen in an actual match, ever, and I've played a lot of Brawl Stars. So we're only letting her count 1 bounce shot. And that means the winner of the attack range Olympics is the newest brawler in the game, Squeak. Squeak's normal attack range reaches 9 2/3 tiles, but if you use its gadget, the throw range of his next projectile doubles, which allows allows Squeak's attack to reach a massive range of 17 1/3 tiles. That's almost the entire width of a normal map with just a regular attack, which is crazy. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. It means a lot. Now, right over here are a couple of videos. One of them is a playlist of all of my Brawl Stars Olympics videos, including the most updated recent ones. If you like this video, chances are there's going to be one over there that you'll enjoy watching that you've missed. The subscribe button's right there. And don't forget to use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.